Why hello and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your host and guide Zollin Ironshield, and we're here with Jethros today, my friends, and we're going to give you a quick guide PvP for Gandalf the White Commander, alright? So we're going to do these really fast, and we're going to go through them, and we're going to tell you 5 main things. So we're going to get straight into it. So again, thanks for being here, Jethros. And we're going to start with, for PvP, we're going to assume that the commander is respect 5 that you're using, because in PvP you really want them to be at least respect 5 so you can have access to the entire tree. So we're going to give you kind of the top ones, and again we'll have other in-depth videos in the future, but these are going to be fast off the kind of direct, even though we have planned them. So I'll go ahead and start with asking Jethros. He's going to be our professional lore person here. What would be the ideal build if you're respect 5, because you're really only going to be able to fill up about 2 of these trees? So what would you say for PvP is the best? How do people use Gandalf?
Absolutely, you're going to want to do White Council, max that out first.
Okay.
And then after that, you're going to want to do the White Rider.
Okay.
So I would do White Council first. That way you get the defensive on multiple units of your own. And then White Rider, until you have it maxed out, it doesn't help quite as much because it doesn't apply to all 3 formations. Only applies to 2, and it doesn't last as long. So it scales really hard, but I think White Council is better for the early levels if you're just picking it as you level up.
Cool. Yeah, and because most people use Gandalf the White as a support character, very few I've ever seen use his focus or damage. But what would you put in your extra points if you say you are level 50, which most people are not going to get to 50 by the end of the season unless they do a lot of PvP with how the new system works for 2.0?
I would put 1 point into White Council and 1 point into Wizard. I put 1 in each. Okay. And then I would just start trying to max out White Council.
Okay. Sounds good. All right.
With whatever's left over.
Got it. Okay, so maybe just throw in some extra, because that kind of like removes debuffs and stuff, right? Or you can...
Yeah, like for example, if an enemy has White Council, then the Wizard will do 2 extra hits potentially, and that will kind of reduce that faster. So it'll help out in that way.
All right, awesome. All right, cool. So that is the first one. And then we're going to go straight over into what is the ideal stat. We're going to flip on you on the other side of the screen here. So we're going to give you a list of the ideal 3 to 5 stats you want to focus for. So, Jethros, what is the ideal first stat they should look for PvP Gandalf the White?
Well, for Gandalf the White, initiative is the #1 stat that you're going to want to focus on. It's going to allow you to get your buffs off before enemies can try to apply debuffs or try to give madness, such as with Sauron. So, yeah, initiative is really important to make sure that you actually let your buffs stick, and also your debuff, since technically White Rider is an enemy debuff. You want to get that off before they can stop that and reduce that or get rid of it. So.
Yeah, because Sauron, we could steal him, or the Nazgul Screech can technically go first or not first with White Council, right? With the reduction.
Yeah, White Council, if it triggers before the Screech, then what ends up happening is, it's the Ring Wraith ability.
Ring Wraith.
If it triggers before Ring Wraith, then it will actually reduce the damage that Ring Wraith does. But if Ring Wraith goes off first, then it's kind of like not reducing. It's not effective yet, so it's not reducing that damage. Even though the damage doesn't apply till later, the actual amount of damage is calculated in the pre-rounds.
Got it. Sweet. Yeah. So then initiative would be the ideal #1 stat. What would you say the number 2 and 3 stat is?
Because White Council scales so well with focus, it's definitely going to be focus second. And then for the third one, it would be command. Any command is really good. Definitely.
All right, sounds cool. So again, those are the ones we're going to focus on, go for. Now that we've gone through those 2 things for this quick guide, we're going to go into showing you some items. Now, my items in slot aren't all the best. We're going to give you like the best items in slot with the same order as the stats. All right, so for that, we're actually going to move over to the Matham house here to look at the stuff here on the where he has all the items. So Jethros, ideally for all 3 of those top stats, what would be the first best gold item people should look for when they're getting their rolls, like be aiming for to keep?
I think that getting the initiative, the 2 initiative from Sandclaw or Reach of the Rittermark,
Okay.
is probably the best, so you can get initiative there. And then they also each give a little bit of focus. Which one gives more?
The
So
Reach
I
of
would
the
say the
Rittermark.
Reach of the Rittermark is slightly better because it gives more focus.
Okay.
But yeah, it does have damage instead of command. So if you don't have these ones to give initiative, the max initiative, then you can go ahead and go for the Obsidian Dagger, which does give +1 initiative and has really high focus scaling. So that is a great weapon as well.
White Council.
Not to
Okay.
be scoffed at for sure. And then if you don't have any gold weapons with initiative, then perhaps the Noldor sword would be a really great weapon.
Oh, we're still gold one, but yeah, okay.
Because it's still gold, it has command and focus, but it is missing that initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So those are ideal gold ones to pick. So, and then for our people maybe newer to the game or don't have many gold items, what do you think the ideal maybe 2 purple items would be?
Probably the cleaver there is a good one. The carver, that's the one. You click the right one.
Oh, okay.
Because that gives you the most focus. Or you can do I think the Uruk crossbow is what it's called. That one gives command and focus.
Okay. Sounds good.
There is no purple weapon that gives initiative. So
okay, the Elven Dirt gives some focus too, and I mean the Wizard Fire also gives focus. I guess if you want to hack for your units, maybe too. But yeah, I think
Yeah. So I mean, if we want to go into the other item slots, we can.
Detailed. But we're trying to make. Yeah. So those are good ones for that when it comes to the weapons. And then let's talk about real quick now maybe the chest piece. What's the ideal chest piece for those?
The ideal chest piece is probably the tracker armor and the protection of Numenor. So there's the tracker plate. Oh, okay. That one only gives +1. I know there is one that gives +2. Maybe it's the Explorer. Yeah, you hovered it for a second there. Explorer's outfit. Okay. That one gives +2 initiative, but it has no focus and no command. So it's debatable that you may prefer to go for the protection of Numenor. Yeah. That just gives really high defense. But you're deciding there between how much initiative you've gotten out of other items and how much focus you have so far. You'll make the best decision there. But those are definitely the 2 best pieces. Honorable mention is the Berserker's Raiment as well. That one actually gives 2 initiative. That's actually probably better than the Explorer's outfit.
True.
This one because it gives focus as well. So that's probably best in slot to give you that initiative stat. And I would go for the Protection of Numenor as a second best gold.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of times you'll want to probably use this on a melee class because of its, a flat massive amount of attack too. But if you're trying to build up your Gandalf the White for PvP, that initiative stat is really important. What Jethros just said.
You're always making trade-off decisions.
Yep. And again, we understand that not everyone's going to have all these, so that's why we're kind of giving you a couple to look at. And then so for the purple chest piece, what would be probably a focus based one, right? Like
yes, the Goblin armor is probably the best one.
Yeah, probably easy choice.
For focus, but actually, if you need initiative, the best one is the Scout's Mail because that's the only one that has initiative.
Oh, if I can find it, there we go. Yes,
there it is. So that does give some focus, but not quite as much.
Yeah, so that's probably the ideal one for
So yeah, if you have a Scout's Mail with agility, which we'll get into later, then you're really stacked for some decent initiative right off the bat if you can get a set with that.
Very cool.
Anyways,
all right. So then, if we did the helmet, what do you think a good helmet would be for Gandalf?
I think
full focus obviously is
the helmet, the with the that one that's for beasts. Do you see the green one?
This one.
Yeah, that one. The Call of the Forest. That one used to be for beasts back in the day, but my brain was remembering the old school. But basically that gives you the 2 initiative there. And obviously remember that when you max out, if you get to that point, you're going to get triple whatever the stat is here. So it'll eventually be +6. Yeah. And then at the top where you see the command, that would double. But that does give command and focus and initiative. Yeah. So probably the best option that you can get there, best in slot.
Yeah.
As a secondary,
heavy focus.
I could probably mention the Grey Wizard hat because of the heavy focus. But no command, no initiative on that one.
Yep, that sounds great. And again, we're trying to stick to the order is why we're telling you this, you guys watching, because we're trying to. Initiative is the ideal stat to have, but then focus, right, and command, like Jethros said. So then, what do you think for the helmet? Probably.
So for the helmet, I think that the hunter's or trapper's hood, that's the correct one, is definitely the best one because you got command and focus.
All right.
Which is great. But you'll get a little bit more focus maybe out of the Wizard's Fireworks.
Oh yeah. Oh, the bone mask, right? For the helmet?
Are we talking about helmets right now?
Helmet, yeah.
Okay. Yes, that's right.
The bone helmet.
Sorry, I got a little lost. Or the bone mask. The bone mask is the best focus, so you got it.
Yeah.
Good job there.
Yeah, definitely.
You're clicking the right stuff and I'm saying weird things.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Right,
you're
good.
We're doing this really fast, so this is a lot. Hopefully this helps people out though. And then when it comes to the then accessory for the gold ones, with that same thought process.
So you're gonna want either the fine smoking pipe for the high focus.
Okay.
That gives. But if you want to focus initiative, then you're looking at the Maria's Reigns as a really good initiative option. It gives +2 initiative there at base. Or maybe the Signet of the Barrows is another really good one with both focus and initiative.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, I think those are probably the best ones.
Yeah, those are probably the ideal ones. So then we go to the accessory in the items. This is where, and you know what, I did the same thing too before.
And you brought up the Wizard's Firework before.
I did.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
As well as the worn out smoking pipe. Does that one still give focus? I don't think it does anymore.
Unfortunately, yeah, they
Which
really
is the
weird.
One. There's one more. I think probably I've used the Hithlane because of the focus, but I probably would go for the drums of Moria there because of the command and a little bit more defense. Yeah. You know, if you don't
the fiddle actually
have a great option, just putting a bunch of unit buffing defensive items on Gandalf is great.
Yeah.
So that he'll survive and his units will survive.
Yeah, I just realized that I also jumped ahead and went to the Wizard's Fire. What's up with the Wizard's Fire? When we were doing chess pieces, I showed that. That's funny. We move both ways. So anyway, there we go. We did that. So then to finish up, so those are some items. We're not going to talk about the respect 10 because we're assuming you respect 5. Okay, we'll have a more in-depth video going into lots of stuff. But to finish up, we also want to talk about the set bonuses, what you're looking for the future. And for Gandalf the White, Jethros, what would be the ideal set bonus?
Definitely the ideal set bonus is the agility bonus, giving +10 to your formation during combat. It's worth mentioning that this +10 is +10 to the commander and your units. And since the actual speed and turn order is based on a combination of those two, giving this +10 actually does more than you would realize in a lot of cases, because it's benefiting both the commander and the unit, changing the overall speed of the formation.
Yeah,
by actually 20 instead of 10.
That's really good. So, and then if they can't get that one, if they have other ones, what would you go for defensive?
Yeah, so evasive action is a good one, especially if you have a unit like Swan Knights, which is pretty popular with Gandalf the White. Or if you want something a little bit more universally helpful as far as all damage types, then I like Divide and Conquer, because it increases by 2 each round, but it reduces it by all damage types, not just physical damage, which is why I kind of prefer that to Fortitude, for example. Okay.
All right, very cool. Wow. Well, what do you guys think? Did that help you guys out? I mean, it felt like it helped me. That's why we brought the expert in. We brought Jethros. I can't think this fast with RiseToWar, so I'm here to question it. He gives us the answers. So thank you so much, Jethros. We appreciate you being here, and we did it. We made it under a 15-minute video. So there we go, guys. There's a quick guide on a PvP. Yeah, for once. Hopefully we can do more of these for you guys. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and a quick thank you to my wonderful Patreons over there too. Thank you for their support, and subscribe button and all that's popping up. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Stay happy.